Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to your League One Ontario Women's Premier Division Game of the Week, live from Ron Joyce Stadium in Hamilton and coming to you directly and exclusively on the League One Ontario YouTube channel. It is my pleasure and privilege to bring to you today an intriguing battle between two teams who are both looking to kickstart their seasons and find some form with a win today. The visiting St. Catharines Roma Wolves arrive sitting in 15th place in the table at present. 2 wins in early May have been followed by 3 losses, and I'm sure head coach Luciano Ianero will be looking at the game today as a way to establish some form and really get into a rhythm with his team. Our hosts today, Hamilton, got this season off to a creditable start with a tie and a narrow loss to last season's champions, NDC, that actually earned the goalkeeper Yana Febraro a spot on the Team of the Week. Such was her performance. 2 bruising losses followed with a combined 12 goals conceded, and they were an early setback. However, a recent 3-0 victory over Burlington is likely much closer to the level that head coach Miranda Wiley is looking to be achieving this season with this squad. I'll take a moment now to run through our starting lineups. Starting with the visitors, St. Catharines Roma Wolves. In numerical order, we've got number 1, Madison Crosby, who is our goalkeeper for the day. Number 4, Cassandra Campanella, who will be wearing the captain's armband. Number 5, Mia Di Pasquale. Number 7, Ariana Zumpano. Number 8, Maya McLean. Number 9, Ashley Altamirano. 15 is Grace Tavil. 18 will be Eileen Solomon. Number 21, Sabrina Bisante. Number 22, Terrin Hultink. Hultenick. Number 27, Trinity Meinhardt. And for your home team of Hamilton United, we have, again, I'll start with Yana Febraro, who is in net, but is wearing number 30. And then through the rest of the squad, number 3 is Jenna Paris. Number 4, Jada Breo. Number 5, Brianna Caldwell. Number 6, Ireland Scanlon. Number 7 is Emily Calabrese. Number 8 would be Sabrina Cunha. Number 9, Lindsay Barwitzky. Number 12, Erin Hedgecock. Number 19, McKenna Williamson. And then number 23, Mela Carboni. As mentioned, it's an intriguing match between two teams that will be looking at their position in the table as neighbours in 15th and 16th as not where they believe themselves to be. And I was lucky enough to actually watch that first game of Hamilton United when they got that draw with Electric City to open the season at 0-0. And I have to say, I thought I saw enough in that game to provide some encouragement and heart to the team. I think there was as mentioned, it was a good performance. So I'm sure they'll be looking to hit those heights again today. St. Catharines Roma Wolves are in a similar situation to Hamilton, whereby they really haven't been able to get their scoring going in a particularly efficacious way or consistent manner. As mentioned, they had 2 wins earlier in the season back-to-back. But the top scorer on the team at present is Sabrina Bisante, who actually only has 2 goals on the season. So I'm sure that's something that they'll be pushing for and looking to improve, starting with today. As our referee gets us underway, and we get a chance to see how these two teams will line up in and out of possession. It's always an intriguing moment in the opening salvos, I suppose, of the games to see the methods that the teams will be employing throughout the rest of the game. Ooh, and an early potential for mishap here as Febraro's attempted clearance was directly into the midriff of a St. Catharines player. And we have a clearance off the line. early drama in the first 40 seconds of this one. As Fabraro's attempted clearance was charged down by a pressing St. Catherine's Roma player. And I think the St. Catherine's players saw the gaping maw of the Hamilton United net and their eyes lit up, but headed off the line by the Hamilton defense. And we've got action already here in Ron Joy Stadium on this bright sunny day. It's certainly Taryn Holtnick is that's the player that charged down the clearance from Bravo, and she's kind of pressing keenly here, not giving that back line any kind of rest early in this game. So that'll certainly be something to keep an eye on. She actually did find herself as a Team of the Week player at one point this season as well, so certainly has the ability to make a difference today. When a sweeping advance there from Sabrina Bisante, but cut out by Hedgecock. Erin Hedgecock stepping in to put in the challenge. Barwitzki with the ball forward, looking for a colleague, finding only Grace Tavil, who was happy to knock it back to her goalkeeper Crosby. And Mila Carboni there doing well to deny any further advance for St. Catherine's. Nick turning well, looking to get away from Calabrese, but running up against Barwitzki. And slipping it through for McLean, who's feeding it to the overlap on the wing. McLean again will knock that ball across. Hit out, though, by the Hamilton defense. And that one is blocked out for Hamilton. Throw in. I'm sure they'll want to try and get their foot on the ball, settle this one down a little bit. Abreu finds Cunha. Cunha has runners down that channel. And actually, it's Abreu who made the run, but maybe felt she didn't have enough in the legs. But Cunha doing well to win that one back. And a lovely ball through for Carboni. Zampano looking for a way forward. Can't get anywhere, and Minart ends up kind of losing the ball with a somewhat loose or optimistic ball forward. Caldwell striding out of defence with two Roma Wolves players on her back. Cool head under pressure, as always. Calabrese playing that one forward, and Paris knocking it into space beyond her marker. But doubled up, not getting any further. Holtnick now playing with her back to goal. Looks like she's going to be the target player that St. Catherine's will be knocking balls into. So we'll see how her hold-up play is with her back to goal, whether she's able to feed her teammates in. Cunha looking for runs, but that one looking for Carboni is cut out simply enough. Well, that's a lovely challenge from Williamson. Not able to poke that one through for Carboni. Kicked forward by McLean. But only as far as Hedgecock will watch that one out. Well, Brea with the time to turn. I'm sure that St. Catherine's won't be wanting to give the Hamilton players that much time in the future in the midfield. Oh, and it's nearly very well read by Barwitzki. She sensed that pass coming 2-3 moves ago. Instead, the ball finds its way to the feet of Bisante, who will charge forward, and a miscontrol by Caldwell just beyond McLean, though. Or apologies, Hedgecock. Solomon will let that one run, keeps it moving to Zumpano, who's up against Williamson. Gets around the outside of the fullback, found it to McLean, who's been everywhere thus far. But McLean not able to strike that ball with the vigor that I'm sure she would have hoped for. Zampano's pass cut out by Abreu, and a neat little ball inside for Carboni and Paris to chase. Carboni does well to block the challenge. The ball bounces its way clear for Crosby to claim. Goalkeeper did well, was quick off her line, was alert to the issue there. Abreu certainly looks like she's going to be the one pulling the strings for Paris and Carboni to chase up front for Hamilton. As we see Hamilton settle into their shape here with Barwitzki and Williamson likely doing a lot of the running on the wings, the fullbacks, and a sort of diamond in the midfield, providing the rigidity and the forward support for the two-player front line of Hamilton. Oh, Paris able to push and pressure and keep Di Pasquale uncomfortable. But Altamirano is on hand to help out. What a neat little turn there, though, from Calabrese. But this deflection finds its way up to Hutnik. She has support, but turns back inside. And is eventually just runs out of space in that midfield. And that one is down the line for Carboni to chase, but our referee has decided there was indeed an infringement before we even got to that point. So this one will come back for Caldwell to stand over. Lofted in for Carboni to chase. She's battling well with Campanella. Oh, Campanella does well. Hook that one clear. But only as far as Barwitzki, who wins the throw-in a dangerous area. Oh, Campanella with a strong, robust challenge on Carboni, not called by the referee. And that clearance only goes as far as Hedgecock keeps that one moving. Caldwell looks to step out, finds Williamson with a nice switch of play. Williamson has a great deal of space ahead of her. She can really begin to force the issue here for Hamilton. Paris is wide if she wants that option. Carboni wisely decides to leave it as actually she was coming back for an offside position. Meinhardt plays that one inside nicely for Zumpano, who keeps that one moving for Hutnik to chase. So Hutnik up against Caldwell. Hutnik does have options inside. McLean able to turn. Oh, very nicely found. And here's the shot, and it's in! It's in! St. Catherine's moved that ball beautifully. Sweeping down the left flank and working the ball across. Hutnik finding McLean, who was able to spin and pivot in the penalty area under the attentions of two Hamilton defenders and had the wherewithal to find the free player on the far side. And the finish was with pinpoint accuracy. Bisante not making any mistakes and slotting it high at the near post. So we have a goal in the 11th minute. An early blow for Hamilton United, but I can't see it really changing anything in the way they want to play. They've been on the front foot and aggressive so far. And an early concession will only really serve to continue that outlook. But one must really applaud the way that St. Catherine's moved the ball. There was support for Hultnick when she was able to drive into the area from McLean, and then actually McLean herself had two options to choose from, and did very, very well to find Bisante, who was all alone on the far side and had the time to bring it down and pick her spot, which she did with unerring accuracy. Carboni and Paris now fighting well, and Abreu joining in, keeping this press up, but Taville just about able to move that one away. Oh, and look at this, just fire in the heels here on the far side, and the ball across for Zumpano, not brought in, and McLean not really able to keep it in hiding the post, and the shot there for Braro with a terrific save, denying Bisante. St. Catherine's hammering against the door for a second goal, being kept out by a combination of woodwork and Fabraro's goalkeeping ability, as McLean hitting the post and Bisante being denied by the save, and Hedgecock just hacking that ball clear. All of this was made, of course, by the heels, the jet-heeled run down the far side by the St. Catherine's fullback, which was just, she got around Barwitzki with a great deal of ease, and then, there was two open white shirts, and so we can see that St. Catherine's not afraid to get players forward, not afraid to support one another in attacking positions, and it's really to their credit. Hultnick has certainly strayed into an offside position there, maybe wanted the ball a little bit earlier from Minot. As much as Hamilton want to force the game, it might be in their best interests to get their foot on the ball and maybe slow things down a little bit, because they are certainly under a barrage of sorts at present. Scanlon looks to play in Barwitzki with a ball down the line, but that one drifted out of play. Oh, and a miscontrol right to Carboni, which she gratefully accepts. Now she's got 3 white shirts around her, but Paris is in the middle, and that ball across the top of the 6-yard box is a good one. But Paris was maybe just a step or two behind it. It was a good turn with the ball and a good driving into space from Carboni. You could see that there was almost like a cordon of St. Catherine's shirts around her, taking away the easy option for the pass to Paris, but she did whip that ball across the top of the 6-yard box. Caught the goalkeeper Crosby maybe on her heel slightly, but on this instance, on this occasion, no Hamilton, no orange shirts backing her up or making that run. Paris, as mentioned, just maybe a touch behind the play. Caldwell looking for options. Barwitzki offering that one wide, but again, that ball just drifting away. Watched, I'm sure, with no shortage of relief by Campanella. Oh, Hedgecock looking to force the issue and keep things moving, but that one cut out by Taville. Oh, and Caldwell now running out of time and space. Only finding Altamirano. Minot with a good deal of space around her. Has options. Not continuing to battle with Williamson on that left-hand side. Williamson doing well, holding her off. Winning a goal kick for her team. Hedgecock with the ball into the channel for Paris to chase. But initially cut out by Di Pasquale, and a combination of Di Pasquale and Tavil get that one away. Oh, a lovely little turn from Zumpano, but a poor pass. And Abreu feeds in Carboni. That's a wonderful ball. Challenge! Abreu had done terrifically to feed in Mela Carboni. She looked like she was clean through on goal. But Mia Di Pasquale simply did not give up on the play, kept going. Put in a last-ditch sliding challenge to deny Carboni the clear opportunity. Maybe Carboni was just looking for a touch too many. It looked like actually she was trying to shape it onto her left foot, but one must applaud the challenge and the tenacity of Mia Di Pasquale taking that one away as the corner sails over the heads of everybody. Abreu collecting on the far side under the attentions of McLean. Quick thinking from Barwiski finds Paris. And that ball across is just evades Cunha. Hedgecock caught underneath the bounce of it, and Hultnick able to keep that one moving for Zumpano. Zumpano continuing her run. Ooh, putting inside Williamson beautifully, and Caldwell so unlucky. Attempting to be in attendance to help out her defensive colleague, but unfortunately resulting in that, turning that one into her own net. The work from Hultnick and Zumpano really had the Hamilton United defense turned. And Zumpano did wonderfully to turn Williamson around and took a finish towards the net. Fabraro actually had done enough to save it, but the save ricocheted right up into, as mentioned, Caldwell, who was in close attendance, possibly too close. And unfortunately, physics came into play here, and St. Catherine's now find themselves 2 goals to the good in the 19th minute. Minot has options, finds Zumpano wide. Looks to put that one across. Bisante is lurking. Barwiski needs to be aware. Bisante fighting, battling, digging that one out. Now one ricocheting to Minot. A good effort, and what a finish, what a goal! The earlier attempt from Solomon hit the Hamilton defense, and the ball found its way to the left fullback, who just was presented with an opportunity too good to turn down, and struck that one from all of 25 yards away. And it sailed into that top left corner, completely unreachable. 2, 3, 4 goalkeepers wouldn't have stopped that one. A wonderful finish from Trinity Minot in the 20th minute, leading to St. Catherine's now with a 3-0 lead early in the second half. As mentioned, Hamilton really need to take a deep breath, get themselves back into this game. I have to say, so far, St. Catherine's have been finding have actually been drawing a lot of joy with the work down the flanks. And I'd say the movement of Zumpano and McLean, actually, the two midfielders, has been terrific. Their support for their forward line is always there. And so, and they're kind of like working on off a base of Solomon as McLean takes the long one from 30 yards out. Figures anything Minot can do, I can do as well, but in this instance, not so much. But yeah, Zumpano and McLean working well and interchanging terrifically, playing off that base offered by Altamirano and Solomon. As Paris now strides forwards, finds Barwitzki inside, not able to really bring that one in, and Hultnik just slides her way past Hedgecock, moves the ball over for Zumpano, who decides that in this instance keeping hold of the ball is the right thing to do. Vicente with plenty of time to pick her options, but Caldwell cuts out the attempted through ball for Hultnik. Paz does well. Hooked that one inside, but Tarvilla's on hand to deny Carboni the space. Now Meinhardt maybe turning herself into trouble, but using the option of Crosby. What a lovely cut inside there from Tarville. Away from Cunha. Finds Meinhardt, who again has the time and the space to simply walk down the field. And it's possible this midfield setup of Hamilton is just providing too much space on these flanks, and then particularly, as I say, down on this near side. Zumpano is doing really well in pinning back Williamson, which gives Meinhardt all of this time and space to stroll forward. And we're seeing it again here, where Bisante is able to occupy Barwitzki, and there's there are opportunities forward for St. Catherine's. Because here we are. So Williamson is able to step out. This time she wins the ball very, very well and able to show Meinhardt a clean set of heels. Cuts inside. Maybe too many options. Paris is where. Oh, and Paris tried to touch it inside for herself to take it around the defender, but the touch was a touch heavy, a little bit loose. Bisante, a beautiful ball threaded through for Zumpano, who is adjudged to have maybe just gone a touch early by the assistant referee on the far side. Oh, we're seeing an early change for Hamilton here. With Calabrese being replaced by Joël Chacal in the 25th minute. So clearly clearly head coach Wiley has seen something. Well, aside from being 3 goals down, she's hoping that she's able to scheme her way through to evening this one up. Hedgecock cutting that one out. Hultnik doing well, staying strong, finding McLean. Brea on one hand, can't turn. Barwitzki keeps that one moving for Caldwell. Hedgecock will assay her options. Guttaville stepping forward and denying Carboni very nicely indeed. Barwitzki covering a great deal of ground to get to that ball first, but her attempted ball through for Carboni to chase, really only finding Crosby, who was under no obligations or certainly no rush to play this one quickly. So it looks like the introduction of Shakal might actually add an extra player into the front line for Hamilton, which maybe will take some of the attacking burden off their fullbacks and allow them to focus more on defending those spaces that St. Catharines have been exploiting so far in the game. So Williamson pokes that one across with Barwitzki. Keeps it moving for Scanlon. Scanlon looking for the ball down the channel, but very neatly cut out indeed. And McLean turns well and finds Solomon, who breaks through the lines. Plays that one for Zumpano, but a touch heavy with that pass. Williamson has Paris down the line here, finds Carboni. And just Carboni just running into space. Altamirano on hand to deny that one. Well, Hedgecock doing well to challenge Hultnick. McLean was looking for Pisante, but the wide player had certainly moved too soon, giving up instead a throw in deep in Hamilton territory. A good opportunity, one would imagine. Well, St. Catharines could perhaps have attempted to keep them in, press them in, but maybe a little slow to react to that one. Hamilton now with the opportunity to play themselves out. Oh, and that one from Hedgecock is certainly somewhat awry. Neither here nor there for Williamson or Paris. Zampano looks inside. Finds McLean, who keeps that one moving. A good drop of the shoulder from Altamirano. By herself to space. Caldwell fighting with Hultnick. Who, I'll say, we saw it earlier in the game, where Hultnick was sort of shaping up to be the hold-up player, and she's done a really creditable job keeping both centre-backs busy on her own. Minot now able to advance, and Zumpano looking to touch that one inside, but Hedgecock just alive to it. Solomon, though, stepping in, intercepting the clearance. And that one only as far as Altamirano, but she finds Barwitzki. Keeps on top of it, though, and now Caldwell with a sharp ball up for Shakal to attempt to bring in. Junior playing that one down the channel for Paris to chase, but Taville does well. Oh, not quite able to turn, though, and Paris persistent, dogged in her chase of the ball. What a loose clearance. Carboni looking to take advantage, but Taville not letting anything easy through at all. Campanella has Bisante. And we've seen the pace that the wide player possesses, but this time not able to get around Barwitzki. Caldwell choosing the safe option. Back to Fibraro. Has Hedgecock. Hedgecock is able to turn. Want a ball right through the lines to Carbone. He's able to keep that one under pressure. But her pass to Barwitzki invites the challenge of Bisante. Now Hamilton find themselves facing the wrong way with the ball at their feet. Just about getting away with that one. Earning themselves a goal kick. I'll take this moment to mention our sponsors, of course, as I would every game. This afternoon's broadcast is brought to you by CIBC, who are a proud partner of League One. It is brought to you by Gatorade, who encourage you to rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Degree, inspiring the confidence to move, and Macron. Please work hard and play harder. And so as we round into the 33rd minute of the game, with no goal for 13 minutes, which is actually the longest stretch thus far, although I could be forced to eat those words as Hultnick turns nicely, but very well attended to by Caldwell, giving up nothing but the corner. It's a good turn inside from the St. Catherine's forward, who, given her height advantage, I'm sure will likely be a target for this corner in as well. So let's kind of see how St. Catherine's will set up on this. You can see that they are not positioning anybody near the keeper. They're not kind of like starting deep, so it looks like they're going to cluster at the top of the box and then likely break and run at the same time as the ball is played in. Oh, and that one is met well by Solomon, but held even better by Febraro. Admittedly right into the midriff, but she does well to clutch onto it and not give up any sort of easy rebounds. Febraro given the opportunity to turn. Cunha does very well under pressure to keep hold of the ball. And smartly didn't want to put Caldwell under pressure, but Hedgecock now with nowhere really to go. Zumpano cutting off the easy option to Williamson. And so instead we find Williamson via a somewhat longer route than expected. You can see that Hultnick actually, when St. Catherine's press here, doing well to cut off the pass between the two centre-backs, and Carboni has to come all the way back into her own half to get a touch of the ball. Looks for Shakal with this one over the top, but that one just rolling its way through to Crosby. Altamirano able to turn. Oh, and looking for the run of Hultnick. Cut out this time around. I have to say, this is one particular difference that in the middle of the field, St. Catherine's do find themselves often with the time and the opportunity to turn and face forward, whereas any receiving of the ball by a Hamilton player in the midfield is always contested. There's never an easy opportunity to face towards the opposing goal. As that, it's a beautiful cross in from Minot, finding itself landing directly at the feet of Hultnick, but possibly to the sort of surprise of the forward. She did manage to get it directed towards the net, but Febraro was alive to it and made the save. But the loop and the flight of the ball was really, really well executed. As we see another change for Hamilton here, as Kiara Bailey is brought on in order to replace Erin Hedgecock in the 35th minute.
Number 11, Kiara Bailey, enters the match for number 12, Erin Hedgecock.
Oh, that's a lovely ball over for Paris to chase, but yeah, again, Crosby is smart and sharp and alive to it. And actually, the referee calls it back. That was an advantage that he had played. So he calls it back for a Hamilton foul. So Sabrina Cunha standing over this one, hoping to capitalize upon this. That's a beautifully floated ball, looking for the head of Caldwell, but cut out by St. Catherine's. Clearance, though, only as far as Scanlon. Good work to get that ball into. Carboni fought and turned and was able to whip a dangerous ball across. Nearly catch out the St. Catherine's defense, but they just about smuggle it clear for another corner. And you can see that Hamilton with a much different look here, where they start with players really deep, right on top of the goalkeeper, right on top of the 6-yard box. They are just looking to get it into that Stramash and hope that they can that something will occur. This one, though, a little misdirected. Caldwell looking for Shakal, but the ball finds its way to Cunha, who had the quick pass back inside, but chose not to take it. That's better from Cunha, moving the ball quickly into the feet of Shakal, who was able to find Barwitzki, and then a nice sharp ball from Barwitzki, but right into the heart of the St. Catherine's defense. Comfortably deal with that and stride clear with Campanella with the ball at her feet. And there we see that wonderful link-up play again from Holtnick and her midfielders. But Zumpano not quite able to field this one, not fetch this one in, was slightly behind her from Altamirano. Bailey now with her first involvement in the game. Leads Williamson, but Zumpano is in attendance. And that's good work from St. Catherine's to deny the easy pass. It's worth, I'm sure we all are aware watching this, but it's always worth restating that when a team presses, the idea is not necessarily to not always win the ball back high up the field, is to take the easy passes away and force them into the hard ones, as Holtnick just steps inside beautifully, finds McLean, who has the opportunity, but Barwitzki took away the easy option. McLean kept it moving for Pisante, who did well to lure Febraro out, and McLean, who was back in attendance, just dinked that one over for Zumpano, who came from deep and was able to finish beyond Febraro, who had been pulled out of position by Sabrina Pisante. So a fourth for St. Catherine's in the 39th minute of play. So St. Catherine's with a pretty dominant performance. It certainly had been, I think in the last few minutes, certainly to the eye test, last 10 minutes or so, Hamilton had taken more of a share in the game in terms of possession of the ball and, probing and attempting to find ways through. But St. Catherine's just with a really kind of brutal efficiency in front of net. Any time they get the Hamilton United defense turned, they're able to kind of sow chaos within the ranks, so to speak, and create opportunities, find free players in dangerous areas. And yeah, as I say, just finish well, finish efficiently, coolly, and find themselves 4 goals to the good in the first half here at Ron Joy Stadium in our League One Ontario Women's Premier Division Game of the Week. Williamson not able to keep that one in check. I'm sure she was looking for the run of Paris down the line, but was well attended to by Zumpano. Oh, and everybody misses that one, but will find its way through to Di Pasquale. Oh, Barwitzki does well to dispossess Bisante, but Di Pasquale again strong in the challenge against Carboni. Well, Cunha turning very nicely away from Altamirano, finding Shakal. Now McLean able to come away from it. Looks for that run of Bisante down the channel and finds it. Zumpano is in the middle. Holtnick's at the top of the box. Oh, and that one just beyond everybody. McLean will keep the ball alive, or might not lift that one across. Apology, it was Altamirano keeping the ball alive. McLean had found herself in the middle of the box, but Minot's cross sort of floated over everyone. And Barwitzki just hacking that one clear for a St. Catherine's throw. Likely happy just for the Hamilton defense to catch their breath, gain their shape again. And that all started, of course, with that ball in behind for Bisante to chase, which he did. And whenever you get a defense, a back line facing their own goal, that's them in trouble. And so again, you can see that the pressing, or the combined pressure between Hultnick on the centre-back, Zumpano on Williamson, the easy option out wide, resulted in the a turnover of possession for Hamilton. Zabreo wins a free kick under the attentions of McLean. Bailey this time has the time and the space to stride forward, and her ball forward for Carbone was cut out by Minot, who sends it back with interest, but Caldwell's on hand to keep that one moving for Febraro. Bailey again has that route forward, finds the feet of Paris, who's able to turn and fire that one in for Chakal. She can't quite keep on top of it, but Minot does give up the throw-in. As we wind our way towards the end of the first half, St. Catherine's 4 goals to the good. Well, Bisante and McLean combining very nicely on that side. Bisante able to drive inside, find Altamirano. Finds Meinhardt on the overlap. Hultnick is running. Well, Bisante actually continued her run forward, and then Meinhardt actually was able to drive into the penalty area. Eventually ran into too many Hamilton players who had closed ranks. When Campanella finding herself now in the opposition third. And the shot finding the side netting. Not a bad effort. It seemed like it would have been covered by Febraro, but as we get the report that the fourth officials decided there should be around 1 minute of added time here in this first half. I'm sure both coaches will have plenty of things to say. Head coach Iñaro of St. Catherine's, likely something along the lines of keep it up. And then head coach Wiley of Hamilton, I'm sure will have plenty of things to discuss with her team. Chakal having to fight and battle in her own half to really find space. And really Hamilton just not been able to attend to the St. Catherine's press in this mid-block throughout the entire game. Ooh, Paris finding Barwitzki, who continued her run nicely now. Barwitzki, though, adjudged to have been offside. She did continue her run, but the ball came a touch too late for her. And our referee brings the first half to a close. There we are. So 4-0 for St. Catherine's Wolves. St. Catherine's Roma Wolves. Sabrina Bisante with a goal in the 11th minute. What seemed to me to be an unfortunate own goal from Caldwell in the 19th. Trinity Minot with an absolute ripper in the 20th. And then Ariana Zumpano in the 39th being our scoring summary for the first half. We're going to take a little break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with more action here from Hamilton at the Ron Joyce Stadium. We'll see you soon. The League One Ontario Women's Premier Division here. We've got our hometown Hamilton United playing host to St. Catharines Roma Wolves, and slightly under the cosh, so to speak, at present. St. Catharines scoring 4 unanswered goals in that first half to take a 4-0 lead into the second half of the match here at the Ron Joyce Stadium on the McMaster campus in Hamilton, Ontario. St. Catharines looking good. They're scoring sort of burst here, somewhat belying their earlier issues in front of net. They scored 7 in total in all of their previous games leading into this game. So an explosion of 4 goals in 45 minutes. Perhaps unexpected, but really you have to praise the efficiency that they will have playing with in front of net. As we see some changes made for Hamilton at the halftime here. As Brianna Caldwell is replaced by Tiam Pourbakhtiari, and actually Yana Febrero being replaced by Ali Mudi. So that's the goalkeeper being replaced, and indeed Brianna Caldwell, the centre-back, being replaced by Tiam Pourbakhtiari, who plays more commonly in the midfield. So we'll see what this does in order to shift things around. We do also have a change for Roma with Maya McLean, who I think actually was one of my star performers in that first half, being replaced by Demi Marudas. St. Catharines in general had done a really good job with the fluidity of movement through the middle of the field, with McLean, Altamirano, and Solomon kind of working well together in order to feed Zumpano, who has been playing on this left side, the left wing, so the near side here. And Zumpano combined well with Hultnick. He certainly was acting as the focal point. Intricate play, good work. And then, of course, St. Catharines had the searing pace of Bisante down their right side, number 21, on the near touchline. And that was really their continued route to goal. So they continued to find joy. Now, we are back underway in the second half. I do want to take a moment to point out that with every game of the week, we run a Twitter poll on the league's Twitter account, where you get to join in and predict the results. For today, actually, a full 42%. As Maya Carboni doing well, fighting, not letting this one go. Second opportunity, finds its way to Shakal, and that one loops its way through the uprights. But a good early burst from Hamilton, particularly with Mela Carboni, not letting that one lie, forcing a second opportunity. As mentioned, we have a Twitter prediction poll, which I would encourage everybody to take part in for each game of the week. And as mentioned, full 42% predicting a St. Catharines win, with 30% coming for Hamilton, and then 27% unable to get off the fence and predicting a tie. How to join in? Well, how to join in with that? Find your way to L1O Women's on Twitter and get involved, both there and indeed on the various other social medias, whichever one you prefer. League One is active and available on all of them. So back underway again, a very early flurry of activity, something that we saw in the first half too, with this time going the other way. Barwitzki able to keep that one moving for Abreu, but still not able to turn away from Solomon. Hultnick able to come back and help out. Cunha able to turn, but once again Solomon quick on the scene. And Marudis with her first involvement of the game, freeing Bisante down that right side. Look to get away from Barwitzki, put that ball across, but just a little bit too high for Zumpano this time. And the Hamilton will just watch that one float harmlessly out for a throw-in on that far side. Bisante really is just outrageously quick down this near side. I mean, has to be said there. Lindsay Barwitzki, the fullback for Hamilton, is no slouch herself, and so for her to be meeting her match and more in Sabrina Bisante really is noteworthy. With Shakal and Carbone combining to battle and force this ball forward, kind of rucking their way through, and actually Shakal earning a free kick there. Altamirano being adjudged to been a little bit too aggressive in her attentions. As referee Walji will get us underway, hold them under the whistle. That one looped across, finding its way all the way through. And Hamilton fighting to keep this one alive. Bailey first, and now Abreu with the shot, but a weak effort right into the arms of Crosby. St. Catharines, I'm sure, will be displeased with the way they defended that one, allowing the ball to bounce, allowing chaos to reign in the penalty box. That's actually very well handled by Paul Bakhtiari, who was slotted in that centre-back position. Keeps that move moving very nicely for Barwitzki. Inside for Scanlon, but just beyond the midfielder. Marudis steps away from Abreu, feeds Bisante. But however quick she is, she can't keep that one in. Bakhtiari with a nice ball for Shakal, who looked to flick it on for Carbone, but instead found only the defensive attentions of Tavil. But Cunha able to field this one. Put that one inside for Paris, who can turn. Finds Shakal. Cunha looking to settle down Scanlon's ball. Trying to get away from the attentions of Zompano, but able to find Williamson. Poor Bakhtiari looks for the options. Oh, that's a nicely weighted ball for Barwitzki to run onto. When she does well to cut it inside. Carbone, can she turn? No. That's great work from Campanella to put the foot in. Take away that shooting opportunity, and now Marudis will stride forth. Able to dish that one off for Solomon. Oh, and that's a good step in from Bailey. Take it away from Hultnick. Cunha now. Put a little bit too much on that one. Maybe a bit too hard, a bit too aimless. Crosby waving her team forward. She has absolutely no interest, clearly, in playing this one short. Wants this ball as far away as possible from her own net. Lost that one for Bisante to try to bring in on the attentions of Barwitzki. But that one bounces out for a Hamilton throw. Carbone fighting, doing well. But her pass for Barwitzki just slightly awry. Shakal looking to turn, finding only Di Pasquale. Campanella again, sharp into that challenge. Oh, a lovely take from Holtnick and a lovely little touch inside as well for Bisante. Her ball over the top found Marudas, but she isn't quite able to bring that one in. And Abreu now looks to free Barwitzki. That ball inside is a nice one for Shakal. She looks to help it on for Carbone, but this time that touch is a little too heavy. Shakal has been looking for those little flicks all half, looking to feed in the runners around her. And this time just a little bit too heavy. Solomon able to get that one over to Bisante. Campanella looks to feed her again, but Bakhtiari is in attendance, closing that door. Sharp ball from Bakhtiari. This one actually did come off Campanella, so if it finds its way out, it's a Hamilton corner. Crosby able to fetch it in, though. Oh, it's a good turn from Marudas, who looks very live. Oh, threading that one beautifully for Bisante, able to latch onto it with a great deal of pace. And that shot was just a little bit too awry. She kind of forced herself wide with her touch, Bisante. And then again, her second touch just took the ball out away from her a little bit. And she wasn't really able to get her foot around the ball and able to shape that shot on net. You got to say, the ball from Marudas, though, really thread that needle and just provided I'm sure Bisante's eyes lit up at that opportunity to dash behind the Hamilton backline. That one lofted forward. Campanella not quite able to clear. Barwitzki then with the ball through. Sort of, again, neither beast nor foul with that one. It seems like the pass couldn't decide whether it wanted to get into the feet of Carbone or maybe try and lead Paris in. And again, Hamilton certainly demanding more of the ball this half thus far. The opening 10 minutes, they've been much sharper into these challenges. But St. Catherine's away again. And Bakhtiari stepping into that challenge, denying any further ingress from Holtnick. Ooh, a loose ball in the middle of the field is latched onto by Jade Abreu. I have to say for Hamilton, maybe there's just been a few too many of these mistakes today of just these relatively straightforward balls, kind of just being slightly amiss, particularly in terms of just trying to make inroads towards the St. Catherine's goal. It's some of these passes through are just, a little aimless or far too hard, or there's not really much for the forwards to feed on as Muti gets her first involvement in the game, dashing out to that one. Good communication between her and the defense to cut out any sort of indecision there. Solomon looks to dink that one over for Bisante to chase and pull Bakhtiari initially with a miss of the ball, but getting away with it. Bisante had given up on it. Scanlon now doing well to find Barwitzki. The ball slightly behind the fullback, so she goes back to her centre back. Scanlon has Bailey with Williamson on that far side. Opens up her legs now. And again, this is what I mean. She was trying to feed in Paris, and the ball was just like a little bit off, and they really just haven't been able to find those gaps, find those holes. Now that St. Catherine's also doing well with their shape. You can see Campanella really wanting Bisante to push much further forward, as Maruda's actually a little drop of the shoulder, not really affecting the ball at all, but able to get away from the Hamilton players. Well, Bisante doing very well to keep that one alive. Campanella supporting. I guess that will technically count as a shot on net, but more likely looking for the cross in, but not really getting the shape on the ball in the end. But I have to say, when Maruda put that ball through for Bisante to chase, I thought it was far too straight, far too heavy, but Bisante's pace doing enough to keep it alive. Well, Paris turning nicely away from Taville. Lunia fighting in the midfield here and actually winning a free kick for her troubles. Well, good ball over for Mela Carboni to chase. Nebreo looking for Chakal, but Chakal not quite able to bring it in. Scanlon does well, stays strong in the challenge to take it away from Zumbano. Wins a throw-in. That's a nice toss over for Carbone. She looks to turn Di Pasquale. The defender sticks to her task. Well, she does sneak that ball across in the end. Paris with a nice turn, able to get the shot away, but a good save from Crosby. Hamilton have kind of been working towards that clear opportunity all game, and this was really the first one. But Crosby happy to take that shot, does really well to get down low and take that one on. Oh, lovely touch from Holtnick into Marudis, who digs that one out, feeds in Bisante. A nice turn inside. Bisante with the ball across, finds Holtnick. Oh, and that one finds its way then to Altamirano, bouncing its way clear. Hamilton will hack it outfield, but the second ball not anywhere near as effective as the first one. More danger at the back for Hamilton, as that one from Muti looks good for Carbone to chase the ball. The clearance from Di Pasquale only falling as far as Chakal, who does well to chase that one down. Keep it at the right end of the field from a Hamilton perspective as we round the hour mark here. St. Catherine's still 4-0 up, but Hamilton certainly giving a much better account of themselves this half than they did in the first. Seeing more of the ball, developing field position. Thus far, St. Catherine's standing strong. Tarville looking for that ball out to the line, but Abreu taking the easy option away, forcing the throw in. An opportunity here for Hamilton to pen St. Catherine's in if they choose to do so. Oh, Williamson with a neat touch inside. Breo does well to hold off the challenge of Solomon. Looks to flip that one inside for Paris. Kind of beats everybody with the bounce, and Tavil just about able to hack it clear for Meinhardt. Scanlon looking for Cunha. Meinhardt is alive to it. Now Cunha with a very nice touch inside, taking out two players. Abreu feeds in Paris on that far side. There are orange shirts in the box, but Paris' touch is just a little bit heavy. Gets away from maybe a touch tired with that touch there from Jenna Paris. A good opportunity to get the ball into the box and really create some issues for St. Catherine's, but not this time. Carboni latching onto that loose ball, but Campanella there was quickly there. Was ready to talk to the referee, but the referee didn't want to talk. Well, actually does want a word with the St. Catherine's captain. Looks like he's going to keep his cards in his pocket for now, but certainly will remind Cassandra Campanella that maybe she's been racking up a few of these recently. Let's see what Cunha can conjure here. So that one is looking for Carboni. It finds its way to her. Floated all the way across. Wasn't cut out by anyone, but Carboni maybe caught off guard by the ball floating its way so far into the box and not really able to deal with it, landing at her feet. So Catherine's just calmly find their way through. Now Solomon has a lot of green space ahead of her. The overlapping Zumpano now well tended to by Williamson. Blocks the cross. Finds herself in possession. Looks for Paris. What a nice battle, though, from Meinhardt to regain possession. Oh, and Abreu. Thought that she had won the ball fairly against Solomon, but our referee decided differently. Altamirano. That Hamilton line has stayed quite deep. And Vicente is all on her own on this far side if they're able to get it over here. Ooh, a neat little touch inside. But the cross charge down. Shot let loose from Zumpano, but once again charged down. Now Shakal able to turn. But Campanella is on hand to calm things down, put a fire blanket over that situation. Solomon feeding her captain. And once again, Vicente is in a great deal of space here. Maruda's now able to feed her. She cuts inside. Ooh, very nice. Finds the space. Oh, lets the shot go, and it's a somewhat tame one in the end. Ali Beauty. Delighted, I'm sure, to see that one just kind of roll. Watch it roll into her arms. Oh, and Carboni with winning a penalty there. Under the challenge of Tavil, the St. Catherine's defender came through the back of the Hamilton striker who was waiting for the ball to fall. And our referee for the day deciding that it was an unlawful attempt to win the ball. Referee in Wild G has given up the penalty, called the penalty in Hamilton's favour. It's difficult to say. I mean, we're obviously up in the booth here. It did look like a brusque challenge. And the referee clearly deciding it was an illegal one. So Hamilton now with a chance from 12 yards to get themselves back into this game. And Myla Carboni will be the one to step up and take this and look to convert against Madison Crosby. Oh, and very coolly done. Slotted right into the corner. Crosby guessed the right way, did really well to read the perhaps the body shape of Carboni, went the right way, stretched as far as she could, but an excellent finish from Carboni in the 67th minute here.
Hamilton United goal scored in the 67th minute by number 23, Mila Carboni.
So that gets us back to 4-1. Oh, as Bisante actually looks to quickly re-establish the 4-goal lead. She had options in the middle that time, the St. Catherine's wife player, but decided to turn them down, go for the shot herself, but this time not able to replicate the finish that she had created high at that near post in the first half to open the scoring. Solomon looks to try and settle that one down, but just too many orange shirts around her. Abreu and Carboni combining, but now Altamirano now running out of space. I'm sure she'll happily accept the throw-in, given that she was going nowhere fast there. The challenge of Paris giving up the throw for St. Catherine's. Abreu looking to nod that one down into the path of Cunha, but the pass can't get forward. And Solomon doing well to find Di Pasquale. Marudis moving that one out for Campanella. Her ball for Bisante is a little loose. And Chakal does well to hold off two. Play that one back inside and win the free kick. That penalty, just a glint of hope for Hamilton. I'm sure actually they would have preferred the goal to come much sooner in that second half, but we'll see now if they're able to kind of keep that momentum up. Get a few goals back themselves, get themselves back into this game. Scanlon looking for Paris, but again, slightly crossed signals there. Paris had come deep, whereas Scanlon looked long. But now Zumpano, all the way back in her own end. Playing that one for Minot to let loose. And we'll see if Hultnick is able to bring this one in. Oh, and actually really nicely paid for Marudis to chase. Bakhtiari, though, strong in chasing that one back. Altamirano now able to face up. That ball's not a good one, but the clearance isn't either. Now Hultnick able to... Oh, and that's a wonderful ball from Marudis, who was able to stay cool, take it around Muti, and re-establish that 4-goal lead in the 71st minute here. That one entirely made by the pass of Terren Hultnick here. The Hamilton clearance just didn't get far enough, and Hultnick had the time and the opportunity to pick that pass and just sliced its way through. Found the run of Marudis, who since her introduction at the halftime has been full of that. And Marudis, the number 20 on St. Catherine's, doing wonderfully to maintain her composure, take it around the advancing Ali Muti, just roll that ball home into an empty net. Zumpano looks to get away from Cunha. Certainly a foul there, but the referee plays advantage. And our referee will call it back to show Cunha a yellow card. The yellow card shows to Cunha for attempting to stretch out the neckline of Ariana Zumpano's shirt. Carboni able to turn under the challenge from Campanella, but her pass is not able to find Shakal. Or Holtnick does very well to just feed that one in for Marudas, who steps away. And Bisante nearly able to find her way through, but Bailey is in attendance to snuff that one out and give up a corner. A cut inside from Bisante looked to be dangerous. As we have another change in personnel, Jenna Paris being replaced in the 73rd minute by Madison Gertz. One easily met at the near post. Was a good throw from Campanella, and Holtnick does well to keep fighting for it against Pullback-Thierry, but not able to keep it in. Good thinking from Campanella to get it behind the Hamilton line again. We've seen time and time again today, as well as over, I'm sure, our lifetimes of watching football, that you get that back line turned facing their own net and chasing a ball, and that's not a place that any defender really wants to be. As that one sort of spins its way loose for Shakal. She's able to get a touch on it, but just a little bit too heavy, and that one spins out of play. And Minot will just lash that one clear with no real intent other than just to get some breathing room for St. Catherine's. Campanella looks to help that one forward, but no real options there. Well, plays that one over the head of Abreu, collects it on the other side. Very neatly done. And Marudas' ball for Solomon. Solomon does well to keep that one away from Carbone. Oh, now one cut out by Barwitzki as Bisante was already on her way. Campanella now has taken up the wide option. Found by Bisante, has a lot of time to pick her ball in. Sprays that one across for Bailey, whose clearance only found Bisante, and then Bisante sort of rushed to the finish. Perhaps was leaning back a little bit too much. Good work by Campanella, though, to force herself into that space that Bisante had left behind. The wide player, the St. Catherine's wide player drifting in, had taken away the fullback and really opened up a huge amount of space there. The Campanella fullback, the St. Catherine's fullback Campanella took advantage of that. Well, looking to roll that one through for Marudas, but only finding Moody. And once again, I'd like, as ever, like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today. The CIBC is a proud partner of League One. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. Degree, inspiring the confidence to move. And then Macron, work hard, play harder. Oh, it's a lovely ball across for Shakal. A nice take, but the shot on the spin right into the chest of Crosby. It was a good ball across from Gertz to find Shakal. Oh, now Pullback-Thierry does well to stride forward. Maybe wanted actually Shakal to take that run into that space that had been vacated by the centre-backs, but took the shot herself, found its way to Carbone, finds Pullback-Thierry again. A second penalty for Hamilton, and this one, I'm really sure there can't be much complaint from the St. Catherine's players. Caldwell stepped into the Hamilton centre-back, who decided clearly to take matters in her own hands and step forward. And There was definitely a foul, certainly from my perspective. So we've got another penalty in the 77th minute for Hamilton here to once again claw their way back into this game, reduce this 4-goal deficit. And this time it is actually poor Bakhtiari herself who won the penalty that will step up to take it. Oh, and that one's saved. You've seen already Crosby got very close to the first penalty from Carbone, but was beaten by the placement and the power. That one from Bakhtiari. Not a great penalty and read by Madison Crosby the entire way. She was able to get far enough across to not just save it, but refuse any sort of rebound for Hamilton coming back in. So the deficit remains at 4 as we round our way towards like the last 10 minutes or so of the game. Well, without a time, probably about 15 minutes or so left. And St. Catharines still 5-1, retaining their 5-1 lead, their 4-goal advantage. Someone is lofted across for Campanella. Looks to get, and Shakal does well to kind of chase that one down, but Campanella stays alive with it too. Solomon now. Now Herbal splitting her own players. And Williamson having to work really hard to just get this one clear. And Moody just deciding to just put her laces through it. Let Shakal bring that one in. Ooh, nice work from Scanlon there. Drop of the shoulder. Open up the passing lane wide for Williamson, who does well to just knock that one past Zumpano. Zumpano definitely looking tired this half. Oh, and that's good work from Shakal to get that ball away. But again, the shot right into the pouch of Crosby. I have to say the positioning of the St. Catharines goalkeeper has been good this half, the whole game rather. Even decent shots, and Shakal has had a couple this half. Decent shots kind of right down the center, right into the body of the St. Catharines goalkeeper. And that's not just poor shot placement, that's good positioning on behalf of the stopper. I think we're about to see a raft of changes here for Roma. So we are going to have Ava Pugliese, number 39, coming in for Eileen Solomon, number 18. And then it looks for all the world as if we'll have number 24, Ella Opedisano, coming in for Cassandra Campanella, who had been your skipper thus far. Those are 2 changes. It looks like there may be another waiting in the wings. And there it is indeed, Taryn Holtnick. I think has been playing really, really well in terms of like holding the ball up and feeding in her teammates. And Holtnick being replaced in this time by Eleonora Cecchini. And indeed, Trinity Minot, a goal scorer, being replaced. a St. Catherine's number 2. Now, I will be honest, I do not have a St. Catherine's number 2 on my game sheet in front of me, so we'll see how that one develops.
Coming in is number 19, L1O for number 22, and coming in is number 3, Josephine Valeri for number 27,
And that one finding its way to the feet of Mela Carboni, who finishes that one very coolly indeed. St. Catherine's finding themselves slightly at 6s and 7s there. Carboni finding herself in a fortuitous position with the ball at her feet. I'm not making any kind of mistake. As a programming note, the replacement for Trinity Minot was indeed Josephine Valeri, who is listed as number 3 on my game sheet, but it looks like she's wearing number 2 on the field, so no worries on that one. But yeah, the real explosion in the last 5 minutes there, that second goal for Mela Carboni. Or Mila Carboni, my apologies. Who, yeah, did very, very well to take that one. Ooh, and that one looped over wonderfully for Cecchini, but considered offside by the assistant referee on this near side here. Is there enough time in this game for Hamilton United to get 3 goals back? I mean, we did see in the first half St. Catherine's able to score quickly and in bunches. And I think more importantly, if Hamilton are to chase these goals, are they able to keep it solid enough at the back to deny St. Catherine's any opportunities to extend this lead further? Barudis has options on the far side. Keeps that one moving for Pisante. Well, looking for Pisante, certainly, but fires that one out of play instead. Oh, Scanlon lets that one roll. Altamirano in no rush here finds Valeri. Opedisano is on that far side. Valeri able to turn. Feeds it into Bisante, who's taken the captain's armband from Campanella. Cunha keeps that moving for Gertz. Not quite able to keep that one alive, though. As this game winds down, it feels closer than the scoreline would suggest. It's certainly the tension is ratcheting up here, but you know, St. Catherine's with a 3-goal cushion should feel pretty comfortable still. We know that late goals can certainly put cats among pigeons. On that one for Carboni, maybe a little wayward. Actually, the pass may be looking for herself, where she would usually be in that forward line. Di Pasquale able to get that one clear. Altamirano can get on the half turn. Keep it moving for Taville. Now there's plenty of space for St. Catherine's to drive into on that left flank. But the ball coming a little late. Well, actually, it's... Apologies, Valeri is indeed on that far side, so... Larry flips that one into the penalty area, but headed clear by Bailey. Baruda's looking to turn, but can't bring that one under control. Scanlon moves that forward for Abreu. Abreu has options now. Maybe dawdling on the ball a touch. And then that attempted pass for Shakal headed away by this St. Catherine's backline. The Carbone battling well in the corner, looking to kind of get that one inside. Wanted the free kick, but the referee not moved by the appeals. So we have another change for Hamilton here as Joel Shakal, who is introduced in the first half. Is replaced by Bryn Jerus. The final roll of the dice by Hamilton United to press for these 3 goals that they need to tie this game up. And Madison Gertz with just a hook towards the net in hope, perhaps, rather more than anything else. But Hamilton showing they're not afraid to really force the issue. But St. Catherine's, I'm sure, happy to just slow things down a little bit here. Crosby absolutely taking her time with this clearance. What is tossed for Zampano, getting around the outside of Bailey, but not able to get away from the challenge of Poor Bakhtiari. And Cecchini fighting well to try and keep that ball alive. Oh, and Zampano brought down by Cunha, who is already on a yellow card, but the referee deciding to somewhat lenient there. And our 4th official has indicated just 1 minute of added time.
The 4th official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 1 minute of added time.
So, unless Hamilton are able to score 3 unanswered goals in the next 45 seconds, you have to say that this one might well be beyond them. Indeed, with St. Catherine stood over an offensive free kick in a pretty dangerous position. Could St. Catherine's cap this off with a real flourish here in the 91st minute? Well, on target, but right into Ali Moody. Quite happily received, I'm sure, by the Hamilton keeper. Now she needs options up front to loft this ball forward for. She finds Carbone, who turns but really only finds herself into the challenge of Tavil. Williamson scrapping away down on that far side. If indeed the result does hold, you have to say that's a great win for St. Catherine's. Again, this 5-goal explosion from them. I'm sure providing a great deal of joy and encouragement for them moving forward as a team. As mentioned, looking to build a run of form, get some back-to-back wins under their belt, start gaining some points, because as we all know, every point matters in League One this season, and not just to do with the playoffs. And indeed, the referee calls things to a halt here. So St. Catherine's Roma Wolves running out 5-2 winners over Hamilton United here in the McMaster campus at the Ron Joy Stadium. Goals for Sabrina Bisante, Trinity Meinhardt with a real long-range effort, Ariana Zumpano, potentially being accredited with 2 goals. And Demi Marudas scoring for St. Catharines. And then Mela Carbone with 2 for Hamilton United, one of them a penalty that she had won herself earlier. And, of course, Madison Crosby with a penalty save against Tiampua Bakhtiari halfway through that second half as well. So, again, St. Catharines Roma Wolves coming out 5-2 victors here over Hamilton United. On behalf of myself, everybody else here in the team, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to tune in every week for these Game of the Week live streams on the YouTube channel. And we'll see you soon.